This is a trip down memory lane in Dade City where I grew up. Those are the tennis courts. I was never a real tennis player, but nevertheless, this is 12th Street, the first street we lived on in Dade, well, the only street we lived on in Dade City. This is headed down to my second house. I'm doing this from the car window here. And I'm gonna take a little left here. And, well, first I'll go straight. And I'm gonna go down 12th Street, the Church of Christ. My second oldest friend, Claude, lived right in this lot over here. It's kind of crazy. He lived here in this lot. The Huckabees friends were the mayor and owned Huckabee Chevrolet. They lived in this house. The Brutons lived in this house. The Reppards lived in this really cool house right here. And if you keep rolling down this road, we're coming down to the grammar school. This is where I went to 3rd and 4th grade. This is the grammar school. And the Barden family lived in this house, and we definitely gave them fits as kids, but all in all, they were great. They were nice folks. This house on the corner is my old house right here. This one right here. Yep, that's where I came when I got out of boarding school at Church Farm School, and Mom was at my grandmother's house, and tons of people came to that house. And then this is the grammar school where I went, like, as I said, I went to school for 3rd and 4th grade before I took off to go to boarding school in Pennsylvania. It's really cool. This is a really cool school. I mean, you can definitely see how cool this school is. You can definitely see how uncool of a video taker I am. But nevertheless, it is here. And if you take a right here, this is the Dade City Grammar. It eventually became the Rodney B. Cox Elementary School, named after longtime great principal Rodney B. Cox. And this street used to be Main Street. It's now Martin Luther King Street. They changed it to Martin Luther King. And I'm going to take a left here on 11th Street. And this is where there's some really cool houses here. I mean, if you look, you can really see some cool stuff. And Dade City is known as a tree city. A lot of cities have that moniker, but Dade City definitely earned that moniker. And property around here has really gone straight up big time. And if you look, if we keep rolling here, there must be a better way to do this. I just don't know how to do it. There's even, by golly, we even have some patriots that live in this town. Yep, patriots, because you can see the flags. And we're going to come. So as a kid, I mean, I walked these streets as a kid. My friends and I would go out at all hours of the night if we snuck out of the house. The Whiteman family, I guess they're selling this house, Jock and Laurel, but they lived in this house. Maybe they still own it. This was the first church we went to in Dade City. It's St. Mary's Episcopal Church. Father Knapp was the pastor when the father when I was there. This is my old friend Cindy's house, and of course when Cindy and Claude got married, yeah, they lived in this house right here. It's a really cool house, definitely cool, as you can see. And this is part of the tennis courts in town that the Huckabee Price family gave to the city to keep. And this is St. Mary's, where I went to school as a kid, or not school, but to church, and it's still going strong. It's an Episcopal church, but nevertheless, I went there. I'm not Episcopalian now, but I guess as a kid, I kind of claimed that moniker. And in my neighborhood, this neighborhood, there must have been 8 pools up 3 blocks, over 3 blocks, and down 3 blocks. That's a lot of swimming pools right there for a little town. So we couldn't afford a swimming pool. We didn't need a swimming pool. Because why would you need a swimming pool when, and you notice the bricks, notice the really cool cobblestone. It's just crazy. You don't see this in a lot of towns, and it's not even all over Dade City, but they left it. This is Magnolia Avenue. This is where Mylan Toombs and Billy Stewart lived. Mickey Broom, my old girlfriend, lived. The Snyder. Look at these trees. I mean, look at this. This town really had something to offer. This town is a super cool deal. So in later years, maybe even then, this is 13th Street. We called ourselves the 39th Street Gang because I lived on 12th Street. Me and Claude lived on 12th. Neil Miller lived on 13th. And John Suarez and Bob Snyder lived on 14th Street. If you add all them up, you get the 39th Street Gang. And we were against the Magnolia Mafia, which consisted of Tommy Southern, the famous artist, the Stewart brothers, and Mylan Toombs, who left us and became a Northerner and went up to Massachusetts, but he still got Southern in his bones. And you can tell it rained here earlier today. Yeah, and if you keep going down this street, you'll see, you're going to see the Miller house. So the Millers were my neighbors, and they had, and Neil and I used to camp down under a table. But their son Neil, they had 2 sisters, like I had 2 sisters. That was their house, and they had a swimming pool. They built a swimming pool, and me and Neil camped out, under 2 tables one time when they were building the pool. And you can see that's house. That's kind of really cool. And and here's the guy doing some work. I guess he's working on my old house. Well, my house, my mom's house. Yeah, but that was it right there. So that's where I lived at. And I'm glad he's fixing to join up. It's kind of really cool. Yeah. I've not been inside that house in 1,000 years. But I walked these streets as a kid and really still love this town. This is coming back up the other way. Yeah, so we definitely had it going on back in these days. Yeah, it's a little bumpy here. Sorry about that, folks. And I was in town at a memorial service for Joe Register. We had a celebration of life out at River Road, and a lot of people showed up. Now check out these cobblestones. Check out these houses. I mean, Dade City has got it going on, man. And a lot of people from Tampa, people will tell you, "Oh, I'm from Tampa," but what they tell you and where they're from is they don't think anybody's ever heard of Dade City or even San Antonio, which is the neighboring city. I tell people I grew up 7 miles or so from San Antonio, never made it to Texas till I'm 21, and that's because there is a San Antonio, Florida. And on the other side of San Antonio, Florida, are the Bellamy brothers in Darby, Florida, the famous brother duo, David and Howard, and they're still going strong. They're still out there. I've seen them 10 times and counting. It's really cool. Check out some of these houses. I'm telling you what, there are other areas of Dade City that aren't as nice as this, but there are some really cool deals here. I got to get across this street here. And look, I mean, just check this out. Check these trees out. Check this whole deal out. It's just flat out, to me, it is amazing. And we first moved here from Mariana after my dad died. My mom wanted to raise us. And so we lived on South 12th Street at 302. Then we moved from this, where I'm heading now. There is no house there. And this is famous Church Street. This is the Methodist church, but this is the old Cochran house. And many people, I remember getting candy here as a kid on Halloween and them dropping dummies off the balcony. And it was my friend Claude's, my second oldest friend Claude's great aunt lived there. And then here you got, as we're rolling down the road here, our first house was here at 302 South 12th Street, and we actually owned this property lot right here. How about them apples right there? But my mom sold it, and eventually they ended up tearing that house down. She also owned another house down here, and she rented that house out. So yeah, so we really had a yeah, I mean, this is just a cool place, man. So Dade City is what I call my hometown. You know, got lots of history, lots of memories here, lots of old friends here. Yeah, and we're just rocking and rolling, man. How about them apples? And so I didn't give you a tour downtown. One of these days I will. I'm gonna crank back up down 11th Street and kind of look at the moss on these trees. Look at this, just beautiful. And we had a good rainstorm today, and a good rainstorm makes it like you know, really cool, because it kind of cools things down. That a lot of heat here in Florida. This used to be a huge orange town. We had 2 orange packing plants. Pasco packing plant was one, and that was one of the biggest, if not the biggest in the world. And then we had Evans packing, and I worked at Evans, but most everyone I knew worked at Pasco or Evans at one time in their life, and they had 24-hour shifts. And you would see, that's my old yard. The old garage is still there. Yeah, so we really we had it going on, you know, in this hometown. I just ran a stop sign. Oh well. I hope there are no red light cameras, stop sign cameras here. And if there are, officer, I'm blowing it. I'm taking pictures and driving here with this stuff. That's crazy. But I got to be careful. I don't want to get shot for driving like this. And I'm going over to my friend Lonnie and Ricky's house. I don't even know if they're home, to drop a shirt off from my younger date, so Lon's sister-in-law's daughter, his niece, can hopefully make it into a real shirt for me. And my friend the Swangers got this 2-story house. Their dad did. It's just flat out amazing, and they have a lot of parties here at this house. And I don't even know if they're home, but this is the old high school right here. Now it's called it's the middle school, but at one time it was the high school where my two sisters went here to Pasco High School. I would have, had I not gone off to boarding school back in the day. Yeah, and so this is Lon and Ricky's house. I don't know if they're home, but they got the front porch kicking right there, man. It's crazy. They might be home. I might have to go in and say hello to them and give them a shirt. Anyway, I'm going to back it out.